Hello, everybody, and welcome to Becoming Invincible podcast. I am your host, Tahlia, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is to reframe your mindset, challenge those limiting beliefs that you may have when you're navigating all the situations in your life. And I'm here to give you tools to help you navigate them in such a healthy way and to harness your personal power that we tend to lose along the way. So settle up, get ready, grab a coffee, and get ready for some juice in each episode as I throw you what life has thrown me and we can navigate this shit together.
Hey guys, future Tahlia here from editing this episode. So with this episode, this is a interview / guest speaking, casual talk I had with Courtney. She's a beautiful person. We've met each other online. We've just been following each other for a while and we've had similar journeys, but we've just really connected and it feels like we've met before. It's really weird. Anyway, so I wanted to do a little bit of an intro to this podcast episode. Me and Courtney chat a lot about mindset and how we were able to sort of shut out the noise when you're trying to work on a goal, and that goal can sometimes be out of the norm of what people may know or that they ever desire to. There comes with a lot of lashback with things like that. So when we sort of do things out of the norm, it can make us feel really uncomfortable. So me and Courtney really chat about our journeys, and she really goes into a lot of things about how it could be feeling and what came up for her and things like that. And we sort of talk about it in just not the average way. It's a really beautiful conversation about a lot of things and loving ourselves and stuff. And she really goes into it and with her journey, and her journey isn't the norm, which I absolutely love. And also how she lives her life now is just, again, not the norm. And I feel so grateful to have her, to have had her on my podcast. So yeah, so grateful for her. So just a little bit of intro to this beautiful episode, because I kind of didn't do one when we were recording. So there it is, guys. I hope you enjoy this beautiful episode. You can also follow her through Instagram and that. My links aren't working at the moment. I don't know why, bloody tech, but I will still put her Instagram and things like that in the description. And you guys will just have to type it in on your phones. I'm so sorry. But yeah, my links aren't working at the moment and who bloody knows. But I hope you guys enjoy this beautiful episode.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Now this episode is a little discussion I had with Courtney, and she's a beautiful woman that I've had the privilege to connect with online and everything like that. So everybody, this is Courtney.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm so excited. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited to have you and just be able to have a lovely, flowy conversation just about life and our journeys and things like that. So I'm really excited. I'm so glad that you could make it and come on.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me. I love being able to have these beautiful discussions because I feel this is where the magic happens, is the vulnerability and authenticity and just sharing from the heart. So yeah, I'm really excited for where this conversation leads. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, me too. All right. So, because those of you that don't know Courtney, so tell us a bit about yourself and what you do and what led you to where you are now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm currently living on the Sunshine Coast. I've been house pet sitting for the past year. But I haven't always been living, the freedom travel lifestyle. I literally used to dream of the life I'm living now. And then now, of course, I've got a bigger vision. So it's I always have this greater vision. And I always have felt that deep within me, even growing up. I have grown up with this mentality of desiring more, really wanting to get the most out of life. And as we all have, I've been through my own challenges of, especially for me, this journey for myself has been really about digging deep into my self-worth and awareness. And really, I realized that if I really want to help people, I've really got to help myself first. So that's where it all kind of started. I always pictured myself as a little girl. I'd be singing, and I used to sing the Pussycat Dolls and picture myself being on stages and all of the things. You ladies know what we're talking about here. So
yeah, definitely. I was the same. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Yeah. Surely, whether it's Pussycat Dolls or I really loved Miley Cyrus, but more so like Hilary Duff. And I just always pictured like what I really loved from that, and me reflecting now, is that I always had this willingness and wanting to be seen to start off with, and wanting to be in a place where I could be my fully most authentic expressed self and be able to lead like that. Really, when I think about it back then, it was me wanting to picture, like I was picturing myself in leadership, picturing myself leading a community, picturing myself creating impact in the world. That's really what I feel those beautiful singers and me envisioning really was. So like right from the get-go, I always had this beautiful vision for myself of like, okay, no, I don't want to be the Pussycat Dolls. And also I just want to be able to do more and be more in this world. So it really started with a big piece around self-expression. And I've been on a journey of, yes, breaking stigmas. I've been on a journey of coming back home to myself, not allowing the outside external world or external things dictate my sense of self-worth, which I feel like it's a big part of my journey. Always, I'm always going to be digging deeper with me owning parts of myself. And I really had this desire to do more, be more. I've got a vet nursing background. I've also been in coaching. I've run events. I've done multiple 9-to-5s, you name it. Like I'm 27 years young, and already I feel like I've lived 10 lifetimes. I feel like those listening and you and I, we're on this like consciousness journey of here to lead and here to share a lot of things. So yeah, I've been on that journey, and then step into the space now in affiliate marketing, and I love human design. That's really what I feel like, I think it's like 8 years ago now, really helped me come back to myself and come back to my own energy and find out more about my gifts, so then I can also help other people as well. And I'm very, very passionate about empowering other women to step into their most authentic self. And then beyond that, it's like helping them declare their vision, their mission, gain the confidence, live the life of freedom for themselves, especially with financial freedom. And for me right now, it's been very much around setting myself up for pre-motherhood and also helping other women be able to do the same too. So it's very, very exciting times.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that. Yes. Pre-motherhood, like setting yourself up, because a lot of us, like me included, I didn't even know this life before, like, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I love that so much when people, like I see people online and they're setting themselves up for that. And I'm like, yes, you actually need that support, because it's like a whole other iteration of like another journey, you know? So yeah. It's amazing. So I love that so much. Yeah. So with your vet nursing background, so how were you from going from that to now being online and doing what you do? Like, how was that transition, your mindset, and what are sort of like the steps?
Yeah, of course. So I always had a passion for helping animals, which is a big part of my mission, I do believe here. And I realized that, like, I believe that animals and our beautiful fur animals are a direct reflection of us as humans. And so I was seeing a lot of animals coming in, and there's a lot of band-aiding. There's a lot of incredible stuff that happens with like emergency side, right? But then I realized that there was a lot of things that I was band-aiding. I was seeing the owner and they're stressed, and then I'm seeing the dog or the cat or whatever the animal is coming in and they're stressed. There's like this direct correlation between the animals and us as humans, and we dictate our choices, our behaviors, how we look after them. And so I really started with this, like, was like this frustration. I was frustrated. I didn't know why. I realized that I felt really capped in what I was doing. Like, yes, I was kind of serving and helping, but I had this like little nudge within me. Let me know if this resonates for those listening and watching this too. Like, you may have this like nudge within you to be like, yes, maybe I like what I'm doing, or maybe you don't like what you're doing, but you know deep down within that you're here for more, and maybe you don't know what that looks like. Like, I had no idea what that looks like, but I just knew that I was destined for more. And so I remember this one time literally like on my hands and knees praying to the universe, or I didn't even know what I believed then, but praying to something greater than me of like, please, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it was a really, really low point in my life, and I was so sick of being in that frustration cycle. One thing after another led to like a friend of a friend, and then I connected with her and I started doing yoga, which I hadn't done before. This was like years and years ago. And then that kind of took me on this journey of like stepping into low ticket network marketing, which then led me into personal development. And that's where that journey started beginning. And I started opening myself up more and more, realizing my worth, overcoming, breaking through limiting beliefs that I didn't know about, like things that really resonated with me, but I just had no idea that was holding me back. And so from then it led me to like leaving a relationship that was toxic, like the whole story, right? Leaving from Victoria, because I'm based from Victoria in Gippsland, and then moving to the Sunshine Coast back like home that I had literally dreamt about every single day, like living back by the beach. And then finally these manifestations started to uncover, and that's like just like one thing after another kind of led to more depth, more opening, more letting go. I really, even in human design, I talk a lot about this journey of it really is about letting go of conditioning and letting go of what we do know, letting go of people that don't serve us, letting go of environments, so then we actually can be open to receiving more, because if we're so full of stuff, my cat wants to say hi, Tricky. But if we're so full of just like stuff that doesn't serve us, how can we expect to receive anything more, or to receive things that actually are in alignment for us? So that's what my journey really has been about, is literally like purging, detoxing every single day. And slowly it opened up more and more opportunities that, were in alignment. But it was, it's taken years and years to get to this point, from the vet nurse to, step into the online space. But also, like, you've got to have courage, right? You've got to get that confidence, which I've had a lot of reflection back of people like, how are you so confident? It's like, oh, you must just, like, it's like they have this expectation, like I've just naturally whipped it up out of nowhere. It's like, no, I was that girl that needed to have a drink to get on the dance floor, right? Like, it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Nothing is really that easy that's worth really fighting for in this lifetime, especially when it comes to your mission and vision and what you want to create. So I really just started to have the courage to go within, look deeper, start taking bolder action, start taking bigger risks that most people weren't doing. And it's just like baby steps that just all kind of led me to, where I am now.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, it is. I know you covered so much ground there. I was like, oh my God, yes, I love this. Because it is so true, where, we go through so much in like our lifetimes, and especially, coming into online space. Like I found that when I started into online space myself, and you sort of have to like learn self-development in a way, right? Like it kind of sort of comes with it. It's entrepreneurship. It's a different time now where how everything is. And I love that when you said like, oh yeah, I'm really, purging all this like different belief systems. Yeah. So 100%, because those that listen to my podcast understand that, we have so much, like we have like traumas and like things and belief systems that we get put on us by whether it's parents or our teachers and everyone in school and things like that, our peers, and it just keeps going until we really choose to look at it. So I love that so much. My first question before unpacking all that is that, so how did you find being online and then starting your journey? Like, how was your mindset in going into that? And then also there is a level of obviously sharing online. And how was that for you?
Yeah, so it was challenging. Like, although I was very, very passionate, like when I first started in the low ticket network marketing space, I'm so grateful for that community, because it literally led me to where I am now. It's where I realized that I am here. Like I love community. I'm here for leadership, and I met incredible people, and that's where I actually started this journey with my soul sister, Kristen. If it wasn't for those things that came up and just wanting something different, then I definitely wouldn't be where I am today and have those realizations. Everything that's led us to this point in our lifetime it's all destined, right? It's all choices that we've made in order to get us to where we are. So my mindset when I first went into the space was like, I'm so passionate. I was obsessed with like helping, and I didn't really understand, like I was just learning, right? Where it's like you said, it's an entrepreneurship journey. And with that, it comes learning and unraveling of deconditioning. But yeah, I was really quite nervous to get online, and I was really quite nervous to be seen, even though I wanted to be seen. Like that back to those days being the Pussycat Dolls, like in bed listening to the music kind of thing, like there was this part of me that really wanted to, I guess, be validated in some way, but like for me to validate myself. And so, yeah, I guess my mindset was probably more, I would say, in a scarcity mindset, and even things that I'm still working through today, of course, as well. But I just had this, like, it comes back to my mission. Like every time I tuned into my mission and what I wanted to create and why I was coming online, that's what really helped me overcome that self-doubt, or I guess that like scared to be seen or feeling like people are going to judge me or whatever the stuff is, because that's a lot of the time what comes up for most people is like this fear of judgment. And it comes on different levels. I think it's so important to understand that no matter where you're at in your journey, whether you're showing up in the online space or not, you're going to have these little limiting beliefs that are happening in all areas of your life. If it's happening in one area over here, for example, coming to the online space, it's happening in other places, which is why I love the online space and the online business too, is because it reflects so much to us of where we're actually at in our personal growth journey, in our personal development journey. I guess my mindset was like strong, but also not. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just had this like willpower to want to create something and want to start believing in myself, because I didn't wholeheartedly 100% believe in myself when I first came into this space. But I guess I just wanted to do more, and I knew that what I was doing wasn't going to get me what I wanted. And I could see other people creating the success that I wanted to create. So I was like, well, one, I've got to be around these people to improve my mindset. And two, I've got to be open enough to be open to change and try something different.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's so true, because it's very daunting going into online space, because I definitely felt that the fear of being seen is such a big one. You know, and even when people judge you as well, it's like that's their thing as well, of them feeling that. So I love how you say everything's a direct correlation, because even when you were saying before where, you know, people's animals and them are a direct correlation, you know, I actually do feel that with children too. Like my girls reflect a lot to me a lot. Yeah, we don't even think like that. And so it's like whatever we do, and sometimes whatever's happening internally, sometimes when, you know, with motherhood and we feel like, oh my God, overwhelmed and things like that, our children are actually reflecting that. Like I find that when my girls are the crazy pants, like it's like, oh my gosh, is this another phase or something? But they're actually reflecting something to me that I am battling internally. So it's actually really interesting when we can look at like animals or our children or whoever, or the people around us, like when people say the 5 people, they're all like an indirect correlation to us, you know, in some way. So yeah, I actually love how you say that. And I love as well that, I mean, for women listening, we can all resonate with, we've always wanted to feel seen or be seen in some way, or have that, you know, yeah.
When I first came into the online space, I also wanted to be different. Like I didn't want to, I had this thing of like, well, this belief, which kind of prevented me a little bit, especially at the start of like, and even sometimes now of like, how am I different? Like this uniqueness piece of like, well, if there's all these like online business owners, and which is where we're heading, right? Like what sets me apart? You know, how am I any different? Like why would someone want to come to me? Which I feel comes back to this self-belief, and knowing who you are is really, really important. But also knowing that as you go along the journey, you have to start somewhere. So when you start, that's really when you start that journey of like finding yourself. And I really believe that the online business or having a business is going to, it just like catapult you in so many more ways than what most ways will, in just knowing who you are and like knowing your point of difference too. Because people want to just connect. You know, we all want to connect. We all want to be connected in some form. So that was a big mindset kind of shift that I ended up overcoming at the start. Was like, well, I'm like, how am I any different? Which just comes back to self-worth too. So I just wanted to touch on that as well, because that's really important. And I know if anyone's, we're all kind of like just like, okay, well, why me? And it comes back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Or I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and I love how when you said everyone makes it out to be like, oh, I just got this confidence out of nowhere, that there's so much internal work that you do, right? So what was your mindset and your feelings, perspective? Like, how was that all and like your life at the time when you were moving to your dream? You know, because I feel like as well for the listeners listening that a lot of people don't allow themselves to dream, and a lot of people don't really, oh, that's just a dream when you win the lottery. Like that's such a limiting belief, everybody.
Yes.
So like perfect. So I was like, oh my God, yes, I love this in your story. So how was that in your life and just going into that like, oh my God, I'm about to like live my dream, essentially.
Yeah, well, it's like the unknown, embracing the unknown. Like I didn't really know if I could do it. I didn't know if I could truly make it work. And I left the 9-to-5 world. That even took balls, because even then I'm like, how am I going to do it? But even it's like every single part of the process, the journey, I don't really know how. It's like I really had to learn, how to embrace the unknown and like how to lean into it. And like, it's like knowing that when you can see something, a vision or a dream, like I used to have a dream of like owning a winery. And which is kind of where it all started, because I had this picture of like land and bringing people together and like nature. And so again, I don't know if I'll necessarily have a winery. I don't drink or anything like that. I never really knew if I could make it work. If you have that idea or that intuition, nobody else has that vision but you. You're the only one who can see that, right? Whatever comes through to you, you're the only one who can see it, who can feel it. And it's up to you. You're the one who's destined to be able to, like, you've got to be able to create it and stick to it and be devoted to it. So yeah, if you can see it, you can feel it, it's meant for you. It's something that you can achieve. And that's just something that, I've learned from, diving deeper with myself, my shadows, and backing myself. And it's really important. Like I've surrounded myself with mentors and women like yourself that are like in the arena, that are doing the things that I want to be doing. And because a lot of the society are in a lacking mentality. So you're going to feel like you're kind of sometimes banging your head against the wall, because that's how society is, right? That's how humanity is set up. We're not even in school, like we're not designed to learn about how to invest. We're not, or even have an investor mindset. So I don't know if that answers your question. I hope I did, but maybe because I kind of went on a tangent.
No, I love it though. Yeah, it's like, because everything you said, 100%. And, you know, those that are listening will be like, holy shit, what? People don't really understand that either. So 100% you did, like, honestly. Because it's funny, society, it's really interesting. So what would you say to people? Because a lot of us do have that. And most of the people that will listen to my podcast would be people are on obviously similar journeys to us, and then also people may be new to it. So if anyone's new here, what could you say to them when they're transitioning, I'd call it? Because it is like that. I've definitely felt that myself, and I do feel times like that too, where you're just like, no one gets me, like, and no one like understands. So that is so normal for those listening. What kind of advice, like how can you talk into that for people like that are starting out and being like, well, how do I change? Because for me, one of the things, because my podcast is a mindset podcast, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, mindset's so easy for you. And now that I've created that, I'm known for that. And I'm like, oh gosh, it's work, you know? So how can you talk into people with your experience on changing your mindset, and like just how hard and like how you push through with doing that?
So like changing my mindset from like believing in my dreams and kind of doing that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and not being so, and whilst you're obviously like maybe surrounded in scarcity, right? Like, because that's your mindset, right? So so going from scarcity to now abundant, and life is abundant. Yeah.
The truth is, every day there's a part of me that doubts myself. The truth is, every day I doubt if I can make my vision work. The truth is, every day I'm just in this unknown of like, can I really do it? There's been so many identity deaths like along the years, as I'm sure you've gone through that as well, right? And this is, and maybe those listening or watching, you're going through this shift at the moment with that mindset, and it's like being aware of it to start off with and not pushing it away, because it's like the beach ball effect of like, if you've got this limiting belief, or you can see some shadows playing out in your life and you're kind of pushing it down, it's just going to keep popping up. It's going to keep popping up. And the worst thing to do is like kind of shame yourself or guilt yourself of like, I shouldn't be feeling like that, or I shouldn't be feeling that way, rather than just really allowing it to surface, see it, and have this curious mindset, like this curiosity piece. And what I've been learning a lot with going deeper with shadow work is like the worst thing we can do is shame ourselves or make ourselves feel guilty. And because that's actually what robs us of the transformation. That's what robs us of breaking through. And it's knowing that it's a lifelong journey. So yes, we have these instant transformations, yes. And also when it comes to the bigger picture, I actually needed to accept that I'm forever learning and growing as a human being as long as I'm alive. So I've got to accept that these emotions and these limiting beliefs and things that are going to be holding me back, this scarcity, it's like just being so aware of it in my environment and seeing where it's playing out in all areas of my life. So much so that I can then gradually move through it. If I'm about to snap, or if I'm about to go through, like if I'm starting to head into fear or self-doubt or criticizing myself, that I know I can be aware of that and I can then do something about it. I can stop myself. It's like this self-accountability piece, this self-responsibility piece, which also has been a big part of my journey as well, is not allowing the outside world to determine how I feel on the inside. And that's something I've been journeying through most recently, is like not letting my success determine my sense of self-worth, knowing that who I am as a being is more than enough, is more than worthy. But I do feel like it comes back to this awareness and bring, like I'm really big on bringing things back to simplicity. So like just not overcomplicating it. One, not shaming yourself for feeling the way that you're feeling, allowing yourself to feel it, having practices and tools and strategies, aka like human design or like any tools that you have as well, babe, to be able to move through that. And also know that, it's a lifelong journey. Like this is just the beginning. I seriously thought, like I invested 30K when I was 21 years old into my personal development when I first started. And that was petrifying for me, like so petrifying. But I did that from a place of scarcity. I'm so grateful for it because they're always going to be my first mentors. And I had so much transformation, but I did it from a place of like, once I do this, then I'll be fixed. Once I do this, then I'll be perfect. Once I do this, then I'll be perfect. Nothing's wrong with me. And it was like, oh my gosh, if I could tell myself back then that, no, this is actually just going to open up a whole nother can of worms. Like it's going to open up a whole new perspective for me where I just get to keep going deeper with myself. And also knowing that the ego, right? Our ego becomes stronger as we get stronger. So that doubt, as you keep up leveling and you keep overcoming obstacles, right? You're always going to be faced with this deeper part of yourself, the ego that is still going to try to block you. Every level, there's going to be some kind of obstacle or thing that you're going to be faced with. So I also needed to understand that for myself too, of it's like not just like when I break through this one thing, then I'm going to be good for the rest of my life. No, I'm actually going to be required to be devoted to that mindset journey, to be devoted to loving myself even deeper and harder than I ever have. And I can't expect anyone else to do that but myself. Like it kind of is this lonely journey, but at the same time you get to, when you have a community around you that are like-minded, that's the most important piece too, because you're all on your own individual journeys. Like you and I, for example, collaborating together in this podcast, we're both on our individual journeys, but we get to come together and share them and know that we're all human. We're not alone, but you are the person you're the only person in your life that's going to be able to change your life. You're the only person that's going to be able to help you break through those mindset barriers that you're working through. And it's only ever going to be you, not your kids, not your animals, not your family, not your friends, not your leaders, not your mentors, like none of that. You are the only person. Even now, like I just keep coming back to taking life by my own hands and calling everything back to me and knowing that I have the power, you have the power, we all have the power within us to change our life. Once you understand that, you become unstoppable. Like sometimes I need reminders to remind me of my power And that's okay. That's a part of being human too.
Yeah, wow, I love that. Like, I love that so much. Like, yes, this is what everyone needs to understand, that they hold the power, and like the golden key is you, and it's not anything outside of. Like, I love that so much when you really emphasize on that, because I really believe that everyone needs to hear that, because I am guilty of it even now. Just sometimes things come up and I'm like, you're looking outside of yourself and you're like, oh God, like, I don't know, you're trying to fulfill something outside, you know, it still comes up. And yeah, and I love how you said investing 30K into your like self-development, and 100% like, you can definitely do that, and it would open like amazing doors for you. And then how you did it was obviously being like, hey, then I'll be, you know, good in that, which I love, because sometimes people, I think we hear that a lot with self-development as well, that when you invest in this, like, you know, if you add this up, it will be this, whatever. But people don't understand. But if you invest that from a perspective like, okay, well, then I'll be fixed. Or you come from, I'm broken, I'm this. And I talk about that so much, where you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just about understanding yourself. And when you can understand yourself, then yeah, opportunities and people and things flow in, and you get to connect on a different level, and you get to actually feel life for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, that's my big thing, is like, we can get so wrapped up in cortisol and go, go, go. And it's like, how about we just live our fucking life? You know, yes, healing is so important, and getting to know yourself. And it is like getting better at feeling at the end of the day. It's just about, so you can experience that joy. Because I do believe that as much as it's hard to feel the hard stuff, I'm pretty sure we all can feel that, is that we struggle with feeling joy, because we then want to tear it down. Oh yeah, but this won't last long. Something's going to come in and tear that up. Like, oh, this relationship can't be good because every other one wasn't. Or, you know what I mean? There's always something. And love how you sound like that. I was like, oh my God, yes, everyone, you're not broken.
No, this is like the one piece of wisdom I can share as well from that journey, is like, yes, going into mentorships or going into any sessions or anything when it comes to self-development or anything in life, like going in with this curiosity of like, I'm coming into this because I want to learn this thing about myself. Or it's like being intentional with where you're directing your energy and how you want to be showing up in the world. Not coming from a place of like, oh, I have to do this, otherwise I'm going to be broken, or like, I have to do this because then I'll be successful, right? It's still allowing external things outside of you to dictate how you're truly feeling, which isn't the point. It's just really, like you said, I loved how you described that, Tahlia, like, it's really about you learning about yourself in this lifetime. And curiosity, like, I can't say that word enough, just is what is going to open up your mindset, yes, but open up so many different avenues in your life that you had no idea was possible, just because you're open, just because you're willing, just because you're curious to see what is on the other side. So anytime fear or doubt comes up, how can you be curious and be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this way at the moment, or this thing's come up. How can I be curious more and not, shame myself? So then you actually allow yourself the transformation rather than like robbing yourself and slamming it, and then you keep going in this cycle, this rut, and wondering why you're on this same hamster wheel when you're just like, it's coming from a place of like shaming yourself. It's like this shame cycle. So it's so powerful.
Yeah, definitely. And then as well, I feel like I don't really describe self-development either as like, oh, I'm on my healing journey, because sometimes, like, for me, that can be quite limiting, because it's, I'm on my journey now. So what do you mean? You're still living your life, especially online. I do find this is the thing as well with my podcast. I'm sort of like breaking the self-development stigma a little bit. Like,
yeah, I love it.
And it's all like, it's a real thing, everybody. We're sort of like unpacking the fact that you're not on your healing journey. Let's like reframe from saying it like that, because you're not living a different life now, and you're still on your same timeline. It's just you're choosing life and awareness and like understanding. And yeah, like you said, I love that. Curious, like be curious in your fear. And I love that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I never even thought of it like that. So amazing. Because yeah, we can get lost of, I'm on my healing journey now. And it's like, well, what happened before this? It's like people won't go, I'm on this now. And it's like, what do you mean now? interesting, you know, how that sort of comes about. It's a really interesting time with, self-development and online and stuff.
Hey guys, so I'm just going to stop the episode there because this conversation was so huge. It was literally over an hour. So I've really tried to condense with my editing, plus with doing the intro and outros. And like that little intro that I did with starting this episode, it's really accumulated back up to like over an hour. And I just really feel like that's too much for you guys to listen to. So I've broken this episode up in 2 parts. So the second half will be released next week just to break it up. And also that you guys don't have to literally listen to like an hour episode, because sometimes just with day to day and how life is, it's just too hard to listen to episodes that are too long. And I've really tried to be really mindful with that in my podcast show now, that I know that I used to have such long episodes. I really tried to condense them down, like not too small, because this is a long form content platform, and I know that those that listen to podcasts like listening, but I just felt like over an hour is just way too long. So I really divided up this episode, so you guys will get the second part of this next week. And so I'm just going to stop it there, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can definitely re-listen and all the things, because we always pick up more than what we do the first time. And I always encourage that on any podcast you listen to and any of my episodes. I feel like you've really got to do that, because there's so much that the person or myself is giving that there's just so much to like, oh my God, that's so wild, I didn't think of, or whatever it could be. So definitely encourage you guys to do that, but I will stop it there. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will talk to you back into the next part of part 2.